Why wasn't there a video last week? Well, I was in the hospital. What happened? Stay tuned and find out. All right, now that the holidays are over, it's time to go back to storage. One nice thing about always doing the holidays back here in our home state, in our home area here in Arizona, is we do still have a storage unit, and a lot of it is stuff from our house, collectibles, things we don't want to get rid of. Both our kids use the storage unit as well for things that they need to store, and it has all of our Christmas decorations and stuff. So every year we get back to town, sometime after Thanksgiving, Lareka and I, we run to storage and we pull a bunch of the Christmas tubs out, all the things she wants to use to decorate the RV, the inside, the outside, everything else. And the bed of the truck just pretty much turns into our storage unit through the holidays. We use that for all the tubs. A lot of times Lareka will keep some of the Christmas presents in there because, you're in an RV, there's not a ton of space and everything else. But for the most part, it's all the old tubs and the decorations and everything else. So here we are a couple weeks after New Year's. So we're finally getting around to going to storage and emptying out the truck and clearing out the bed, clearing out the back seat, and kind of getting everything back to normal for the last few months that we're here in town, just enjoying our time here at home. All right, and just like that, the truck is clean, but as you can see, the storage unit is not. That's what happens when you get your two adult kids using the same one. So oh well, before we leave town in a couple months, I'm sure we're going to be back here organizing and cleaning it again.
All right, so today, like every day, I am doing dishes. And we thought we'd show you what that consists of. We are wired and have a drawer for a dishwasher. We never got it. Just wanted to save on weight. Didn't really feel like we needed it. So we do not have a dishwasher. I am the dishwasher of the house. So basically, we just wanted to kind of show you the process, especially because our sink is in the middle on its own. So it's not like I can wash and then just stick right here. I would have too many things. So I've come up with a system that works for me. And like anything you do in RVing, you figure out what works for you and you go with it. So this is how I do dishes. So I'm officially done washing. I hand wash all of them. I keep the water off. I get my sponge really soapy, and then if I need more soap or water, I just do that as I go. But I do conserve water that way. Otherwise, Kevin would be dumping the tank a lot more than we already do. So I turn it off in between, and then I rinse. And then what I've done is I've used my counter over here because we have this space, which is lovely. And I put my drying mats out and I let everything air dry. So I have taken a towel and hand dried them too if I just don't want them out. But the air drying works and that's become our system. So I'm gonna go put these over there now. Okay, so just like that, the dishes are done. They'll dry. I'll put them away later. The only other thing I was gonna tell you guys is just my humble opinion. When we bought our rig, it came with a divided sink, and I knew that was one of the biggest things for me. I wanted a farmhouse sink. So I told our salesman, you have to get me a farm sink. And he said, we will get a farm sink for you. And he delivered, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the divided sink? I've heard people that do really like that because they have the two sections. I love a big farmhouse sink that you can just put everything in. You have room to work. And you kind of go from there. So anyway, got my farmhouse sink. I love it. I love it even more when it's all clean and everything's done. So there you go. That's how we do dishes.
All right. So I will admit, I have done the dishes before on a few occasions. And when I do it, it doesn't look like this. I have a little bit more of a mess and I'm not as organized as Lareka is with it. But hey, I try.
But the reality is, and we've talked about this a lot in RV land, when you do something so often, you come up with the system that works best for you. So it was trial and error for me, what was going to be the most efficient and less messy, because you are dragging water over there as they drip. So it's just what worked best for me because I do it all the time. And just so you know, when we lived in our sticks and bricks, Kevin did the dishes probably every night. Because our big thing was, I'm going to cook, and he's like, I'll do the dishes. So he's kind of been relieved of the dishes now that we're retired and on the road. But he does other things. So I do dishes and he does other things. Good morning. We are out today on an adventure. So why are we out today? I actually have surgery scheduled. So it's not major surgery, but surgery nonetheless. And I knew that when I came back to our home state, I wanted to have this done. So I'm not sure if any of you have noticed, but on my right arm, I have this lump that is in there. And they're called lipomas, and they are hereditary. I've actually had 5 of them removed, but this one on my right arm, it's just been growing, and it drives me nuts because of where it's at. I hit it a lot, and it just bulges. And so I knew that when we came back for the holidays, I wanted to have it removed because it's just a pain. I've had these for quite some time. My brothers have them. My dad has them. They test all of them. They always come back benign. They're just kind of a pain, and it is what it is. I've learned to live with them. It's really not a superficial thing for me. They don't bother me because I have, like, the way they look, because I have so many of them. I have them all on my legs. It's just when they start to protrude and they get large, that's when they start to bother me. They're not like super painful, but they just get in the way. And when I hit them, it's just such a weird feeling. So anyway, I am on my way to get that removed. But first, Dunkin' Donuts.
One of the best parts about being back home in Arizona, we have Dunkin' Donuts.
All right, we are here. So we're getting ready to go in. This is what I was talking about. It's right there on my arm. See how it bulges? And it's so funny when I'm looking at the videos when Kevin's editing them, I'm like, I can totally see my lump. And so many people are like, we never would have seen it. But I can see it and I can feel it, like I've said. Yeah, so if you can see right here, in between my tattoo, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that is one of them where they had removed one. It's the only one I've actually ever had to go under for. So, yeah, gonna go get this done. Okay, so I am finished. My appointment was at 11:30. I believe I got back there about 11:40, 11:45. It is now 12:06, and so easy peasy. They removed it. I have pictures of the lipoma. They're going to test them, make sure they're benign. Pretty basic. He said they came right out. Sometimes, and I know this from having several removed, sometimes they'll pop right out because they're ready, but sometimes they have to work them and cut them out. So anyway, super excited to have that removed. People thought I was crazy. I got it removed about a week and a half before Hayden's wedding. So I'd rather have it done and gone versus my big old lump just hitting things. So anyway, we are good to go. I don't even have to come back and see them unless something swells up or something, but the sutures will dissolve and we will be good to go.
All right. So let me tell you a little story about what happened to me and how I wound up in the hospital for a couple of days last week. So basically what happened was Christmas week, I pulled a muscle in my left calf. And it was hard to walk, and I was living on icy hot and doing all that kind of stuff. And after a couple of weeks, started getting a little better, but wasn't really the best. I just kind of figured, hey, I'm in my mid-50s now. I don't heal as well as I used to. So I was pretty much taking it easy, resting on it as much as possible. We had taken Violet to zoo lights and a couple other things here and there, but for the most part, with the holidays and everything else, I was pretty much chilling out, sitting, relaxing, keeping my leg up, doing all those kind of things. The holidays came and went, and we were getting close to Hayden's wedding. which was the beginning of February, and my leg just wasn't healing. It started feeling better, then it would hurt a little bit more, and I'm just thinking to myself, damn, this getting old sucks. And Lareka had noticed that my leg was swelling a little bit, down below my calf, towards my ankle and everything else. She kept saying, you know, your leg is swollen more than your other leg. I don't know if that's normal. And I'm just like, come on, I'm getting old, you know, pulled muscles don't heal very well, this and that. Didn't really think much of it. At this point, there really wasn't a lot of pain, if any pain. It was just when I would walk on it, it was just tight. Like the whole muscle in my whole leg was just very tight as I was walking. And I'm like, dang, I wonder if I tore something in my calf. I was thinking maybe I had like a slight tear and that was causing some of the swelling. I don't know. I'm a typical guy. That's kind of what it is. We're getting up on several weeks away from hitting the road again and starting our 2026 loop. Lareka's like, you know, I think you need to go to the doctor. Let's go to the doctor, just get it looked at and see what they say. So made an appointment, went to my doctor, went to my primary. She looks at it and she's just like, I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like how it's swollen. It's a little discolored. I'm gonna send you to a specialist so they can check your veins and see what's going on circulation-wise, this and that. They send me to this vein place. I go and I have the ultrasound test done. Sure enough, I've got blood clots in my left leg. They start up around my hip and go to just below my knee into my calf area. The vein doctor tells me, you need to go to the ER pretty much right now. So I'm like, holy crap, what? I didn't know what this was all about, because my primary did say, if you have clots, you have to go to the hospital to get a prescription. I don't know why I had to go to a hospital to get a prescription, but then the vein place tells me the same thing. So I come home, I pick up Lareka, we go to the hospital that's only a few miles away with all the paperwork from the vein place, check in the ER, tell him the story, and he's like, yeah, you have to be seen by us. Sorry, but we're gonna do all the same tests that you just did at the vein place. So they take me into the ER, ultrasound specialist comes in a couple hours later, they do the same tests. Yeah, you have blood clots. Guess what? You're getting admitted to the hospital. I'm like, what is going on? My doctor said, if it's a blood clot, they give me a prescription, bing, bang, boom, and that's the end of it. The hospital doctors are like, yeah, no. You need to go on an IV blood thinner for at least 24 hours. So I get admitted to the hospital. So I'm in the hospital for 2 days, IV blood thinners, and once they release me from the hospital, I now have a prescription for blood thinners for the next 4 months. So that's where I was at. I had a follow-up appointment a week later with the vascular surgeon. He checked it out and everything else and said, nope, we're not going to do any surgery right now. Your leg is looking 10 times better than it did when you went into the hospital. We're going to keep you on the blood thinners. When are you guys back in town? We always come back in June for Violet's birthday. So during that period when we come back for the birthday, they're gonna see me, do another test, do another evaluation, and see if the blood thinners worked and I can come off them, if I need to be on blood thinners longer, or if they want to do what's called a thrombectomy, which is go into my veins and basically suck out the clots and do it that way. So all those decisions are coming up here in 4 months. Now, how on earth did I get blood clots? Lareka and I are very active. You guys know if you watch the channel, we do a lot of hiking, we do a lot of bike riding and everything else. Apparently this is not that uncommon for people with injuries, especially leg injuries. They call it a trauma-induced clot, and it's because Lareka and I, we are active, we hike, we mountain bike and everything else. Once I got hurt, we pretty much went stagnant between that and the holidays. We didn't do any hiking, we hadn't done any bike riding since we've been in town and everything else, and apparently it just happens. They said it is very common with leg injuries. something to think about. And, you know, like I said, I'm a typical man. I'm just looking at my leg and I'm going, yeah, it's a pulled muscle. It's not getting better, but I'm getting old. Well, if you are in this kind of situation where you wind up injured and you're sitting around and then you start noticing swelling, tightness, things like that, it very well could be a blood clot. The technical term, a deep vein thrombosis. They're throwing around the DVT term in the hospital and everything else. That's possibly what it could be. I would say just go to the ER and get it checked out, because no matter what your doctor or the specialist does to check it out, when you go to the hospital, they're going to do all the same tests, and it'll probably save you a ton of money, which I did not know about. So I'm probably going to be paying triple for all of this: my doctor's appointment, the vein specialist, and now a hospital bill. But it's something to think about when you guys are on the road and you're staying active and something happens and all of a sudden maybe you're not as active as you used to be. You know, just keep an eye on those things with your legs. Make sure that you don't have the swelling or anything else, because apparently the blood clots in your legs can move up into your lungs and things like that and cause some major serious issues. When I was in the hospital, they did do a CAT scan on me from head to toe, and my blood clots are just in my legs. They have not moved up into my lungs or anything like that. So for the most part, I'm pretty much okay. Just have to change a couple things in the lifestyle. You know, try to move it and stay active and everything else. But other than that, they said no real changes. I could still go hiking, go bike riding, everything else based on how comfortable I am. And that's it. Just for the next 4 months, I'll be on blood thinners, and we're going to see how that goes. So, you know, if you're the praying type, you know, shoot me a prayer or two, just making sure that come June, everything goes okay and I don't have any more of these issues. And that's it. Just kind of be careful, you know, look at the warning signs and listen to your body. You know, I think that'd be the biggest thing. You know, if Lareka was sitting right here next to me, she would tell me the same thing, and she would tell you, I told him it didn't look good. I told him we need to go get it looked at. And I did, and I put it off a few weeks, you know, between the wedding, and then after the wedding, the whole family got sick. They actually even said in the hospital, the blood clots themselves had probably only formed in, you know, 2 to 3 weeks leading up to that. So it wasn't quite there around the holidays. So I don't know. So just something to think about. You're on the road. Apparently, again, this is a common thing. Just watch your body, watch all those symptoms, and that's it. So do us a favor. If you like this video and you watched it all the way here to the end to hear me talk about my medical issues and my hospital stay, 1, I thank you very much. Number 2, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell, and you will be notified whenever we put a new video out. Pretty much on Tuesdays. Sometimes we skip a week. Most of the time we don't. New loop is coming up. 2026 is coming before you know it, and we're gonna have a lot of adventures. We got a lot of good things planned. We're gonna talk to you guys about that in a future video. And as always, thank you very much for being part of Retired Road Tripping. Goodbye.